It might be in a night. Oh. Can you just switch it on? Good morning, councillors. Special greetings to the Executive Mayor, Executive Deputy Mayor, MACO members, all councillors present, to the municipal manager, and to all HODs and officials present. Today is our special council meeting. The date is 12th December 2024, and the time is 5 minutes past 9. We are starting now our agenda. Item number 1 is the opening. Can we please ask Councillor Renencia to open for us with a prayer?
Almal so gesluit is. Hemelse Vader, ons kom in hierdie oggend eer. Here, omdat ons weet, Here, U is magtig en groot. Kom sien hierdie council meeting, Here, ek bid vir vrede, rus, Here, ek bid vir wysheid en ek bid vir insig. Laat U wil geskied in Jesus naam. Amen.
Dankie, Here.
Amen.
Can the administration please circulate the attendance register for all to sign? As the attendance register is circulating, can we move on to item number 3, which is the application for leave of absence?
What does it mean when it says, Here God?
Councillor Tapai.
This is not God.
Oh, Councillor Tapai.
Also speak. I was still, because of she was praying in Africa. So
Jesus Christ. She's saying Jesus Christ. You're hot. Heavenly Father. Heavenly.
I'm learning. It's not God. Yeah.
Lord God Almighty.
Not God.
Application for leave of absence. Can we all be quiet and listen to the agenda? Application for leave of absence. I received an apology for councillors from Councillor Seti, which she will be joining us virtually for the public meeting, but not for the in-committee meeting. Item number 4, which is declaration of interest. Any councillor who want to declare? Moving to item number 5, confirmation of minutes for previous meeting. Can the administration please take us through to the minutes?
Starting with 5.1 minutes of the ordinary council meeting dated 31st of August 2024, starting on page 6. 7. 8. Page 9. 10. 11. Page 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, page 3, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, attendance rate 30, 31, attendance registers 32, 33, 34, and that concludes.
Speaking.
Spaza is on the virtual platform. Please mute Yedwa's mic.
And that concludes the minutes of the ordinary council meeting of 31st of August.
Very much. Then, sorry.
Speaker. The meeting.
The minutes are 7.
Speaker.
If we zoom into page 20 of minutes. That particular item was actually, it was moved by me and seconded by Councillor Seti. So I think we need to have that rectified. And as we move along, page 29, there is no second on those on that item. So I'm not sure whether it was done mistakenly by administration. And I'm not sure whether we're going to listen to the recording now or must we send them back for them to actually listen to it and rectify and bring back to council. Thank you.
Mr. Mangaba, what's the problem in page 29?
Page 20,
20, I've got it.
you got that. Page 29, there's no second. Now I'm unsure whether or not we're gonna revisit the tapes and listen to them now, or must we send these minutes back for a rectification?
Amen.
Speaker, and thanks. May I request that the administration be given an opportunity? The other said, and this one can be then cancelled.
Thank you very much, Emma.
Councillor there. Sorry, MM, it was just an administrative fault. The proposal was Councillor Kolwapi and the seconder was Councillor DJ Swart. I can see 6161 1024.
The other one is page 20.
It's going to changing councillor now.
If council then accept those corrections, the minute can be considered here.
It's Councilman Ngaba and it's Councillor Seat.
Yeah, that's the one.
Great.
Thank you very much. So the problem is corrected. Councillor Nell?
Speaker, after the selection of the problems pointed out by Councillor Ngaba, I propose to be accepted as accurate reflection of them.
Thank you. Moving to the next item, to the next set of minutes. Minutes circulated here with. Councillor Nell?
Did you receive a second there on?
I'll second it. Councillor Olivier seconded.
With the minutes of the special council meeting of 22 November 2024, starting on page 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 attendance registered. 41 and 42, and that concludes the minutes of the special council meeting of 2024.
Minutes are serving. Compare.
Speaker, I propose to go with the minutes. It's the most accurate.
Proposed. Seconded by Councillor Olivier. Moving to the, are we finished now with the minutes?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Moving to item number 6, which is statements and communication by the speaker and the executive mayor. Executive mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, Honourable Speaker, Deputy Mayor, members of council, municipal staff, and our guests. We are today, as a council, drawing the curtain on 2024, and I stand before you with a deep sense of gratitude and reflection. This year has definitely been filled with a lot of highs. It has also been filled with a couple of low moments, but also in between great achievements for Bitou municipality and instances that have reminded us of the work that still lies ahead. We have, on the positive side, we have once again maintained our good track record in retaining our prestigious blue flag status. However, This year has also brought significant challenges. One of those is that our audit findings for the 23-24 financial year show a regression. And this serves as a critical reminder of the importance of robust financial management, compliance, and accountability. We must confront this setback with transparency and urgency, ensuring that we implement corrective measures to improve our governance standards. As we end of the year and looking forward to 2025, our priorities are clear. We need to strengthen our financial controls to once again achieve a clean audit. We need to accelerate service delivery and address the backlogs that still are being faced by many of our communities. And then we also, of course, need to look at partnerships with the private sector for the year ahead in order for us to address the socio-economic challenges of unemployment, poverty, and skills development. My fellow councillors, thank you for your commitment to the people of Bitou, and to the municipal staff. Your tireless efforts often go unseen, but you are the backbone of our progress. And to the residents of Bitou, thank you for your patience, for your support, for your constructive engagement. You are the voice that keeps us accountable and motivate us to do better every day. Councillors, colleagues, as we head into the festive season, let us take this time to reflect on the lessons of the past year and recharge for the challenges and opportunities that lies ahead. I look forward to all of us returning in the new year with renewed energy and a shared determination to serve all the communities in Bitou with pride and with integrity. And may this festive season bring joy, peace, hope to every home in our municipality. Stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for the beautiful year-end speech. We are motivated by it. From my side, I don't have any speech. Moving to item number 7, which is presentations. We have none. Moving to item number 8, items for information, which has been dealt with by the executive mayor in terms of delegated authority. None. Item number 9, noting of outstanding council resolutions. None. Item number 10 is the consideration of reports, non-delegated matters.
The order, Speaker.
Councillor Branch.
Speaker, on the point of order. Rule 44. 2A, Speaker, procedural matter. Speaker, I've seen there on the point 12 and point 13 on the order of business. You have moved the 2 items that I've brought to this council to committee, which I would like to remind you of the following rule, Speaker. 21, the non-disclosure of matter. Again, it's the second time that we come to council, and each time I've listened now again to the executive mayor's speech. We talk heavily about accountability, transparency, and fairness. But each time when we bring matters to this council, it's being removed from the order of business. It goes to in committee. Point 12 and point 13 is clearly in terms of the order of business. It must be dealt with under your order of business. There is no provision for this items in committee. I therefore cannot see why we have moved this, because Rule 21 clearly says, 21.1, whenever the municipal manager at his or her discretion has provisionally placed any matter on a part of the agenda which will not be disclosed to the public before the meeting, the speaker, when such matters are to be considered, the speaker must, 21A, direct that the members consider whether it would be reasonable for any of all of the items on such part of the agenda to be considered without the presence of the public. Speaker, by motion today, it is on the screen there. It is regards that we reconsider the reinstatement of the suspended director community service. But I've seen now there, it has been moved to in committee without consideration or the majority of councillors agreeing to. We are changing the order of business, which is a bylaw of this council. Can you please explain to us why we have moved that without going into the rule of chapter 421, please? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Blanche.
Speaker, if I may assist council, I just need to get the clarity. The councillor is referring to, I might have missed it, to the rules of order, which rule of order that the matter cannot be moved.
21, chapter 4, 21, and I.
Okay. Sorry, thanks. Speaker, for your indulgence, 21, non-disclosure of matters. Whenever the municipal manager at his or her discretion, has provisionally placed any matter on the part of the agenda which will not be disclosed to the public before the meeting, the speaker and such matter, emphasis, the speaker when such matters are to be considered, the speaker must emphasis, A, direct that the members consider whether it will be reasonable for any or all of the items on such part of the agenda to be considered without the presence of the public, due to regard to section 167 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa 1996, which requires that the public and the media may only be excluded from being present at the meeting only when it is, matter of emphasis, it is reasonably do so. Having regard, emphasis again, to the nature of the business being transacted. Now, B, why the majority of members.
Point of order, Speaker.
Can I finish?
Order, Speaker. I finish. Speaker, point of order.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this is your meeting, and therefore items in the agenda belongs to the Speaker. And what Councillor Claude Terreblanche did, he was speaking to you. Then as a Speaker, it was your duty to take us to confidence and why those motions of questions were removed in that order of the agenda. And I want to recall again, when you were reading the order, you didn't even give an audacity to explain as a Speaker that these are the motions that were given by Councillor so-and-so, seconded by Councillor so-and-so. It is my prerogative as a Speaker to remove them because of 1, 2, 3. Now it's so unfortunate, Speaker, that the MM now becomes the Speaker. Because my understanding is that when as council were deliberating in council, immediately when we deadlock in items, then we ask the MM to give advice and clarity. So unfortunate that it's the NM that is running the show as if he is the Speaker. That's the problem that we're having. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tapai. Deputy Mayor?
Sorry, may I proceed to give guidance in this council? I think to Councillor Tapai, through you, Mamel.
Yes.
I want to give proper guidance to this council as the accounting officer for the responsibility to give guidance in this council. Councillor Bunch has raised a matter.
Speaker.
On that matter that he has raised, I was reading.
Speaker.
I did not dispute that.
Speaker.
Can I be given an
With your indulgence, Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Indulgence.
Yeah, you may
Speaker, if you
proceed.
look at the agenda,
I would like that the MM as an
agenda, you were on point
Number 10.
Number 10. Now I need to provide guidance. Councillor Tapai, Magashi Sumoy.
No, Speaker, you must listen to the language.
Number 10.
You must. I can't as a councillor, Speaker. I can't as a speaker. I can't as a councillor. I can't as a councillor interact with the official in council. No, Speaker, you cannot allow that.
No.
You cannot allow that an official. This is our meeting.
Speaker.
It's not the MM's meeting, this one.
The MM's meeting, but I have a right to ask for guidance. I do have that right to ask.
Speaker,
And I have given him.
Speaker, through legal. Your guidance must come through legal, Speaker. Order, on a point of order, Speaker.
I don't know if.
Speaker, I'm on the floor. Speaker, can I correct you? Speaker, on a point of order.
Is that you are now at point number 10 with the agenda.
Speaker, you must recognize me on a point of order.
Point number 10 and point number 11, you get to point number 12.
Then the explanation
Then
will
the
come.
explanation will be
Speaker.
there.
Yeah.
So raise a point of order on the point that you are not even.
Speaker, on the rules of order.
Give that's your guidance. And there's no rules of order that says now.
MM, you are wrong. MM, you are wrong. Speaker, the MM is wrong. Speaker, the MM is wrong. I'm not fighting with you, Speaker. Speaker, on a point of order.
In fact, Madam Speaker, thank you. I was just going to say that for me, even to entertainment to the point that was out, it was too early. Again, for the fact that you can't by saying that you didn't say anything, unless you were not even on that. That was even out of order. Continue with your meetings, please.
Speaker.
Councillor,
And you've got the right to consult your legal.
They are implementing the rules of order wrongly.
And also your MM next to you. It should not be seen that this is the MF meeting. It's out of order. I would ask Mr. Councillor, I can track what is saying that this meeting is
the MM's meeting.
Let him track that.
Yeah. You're out of order.
Out of order.
You are out of order. What was the MM explaining then?
Councillor Papa, I've given on bill, not you. Please, can we all listen to?
Simple. Councillor Blanche, you entertained motion at a time when you were reading the agenda.
How can I be out of order?
Agenda, it's your description.
Chapter 6, rules of debate, read it. Read chapter 6, rules of debate, you will see that.
Executive Mayor.
That you're making a meeting.
Read chapter 6, rules of debate.
Right, but now in the EMEA chat, you're also speaking.
Speaker, on a point of order.
Councillors.
Maybe that side is allowed to be destructive, not us.
Yeah.
Because the more she speaks, the more she becomes distracted.
Councillors.
On a point of order, Speaker.
Councillors, can
Hold on.
it be one speaker today? Can it be only Mavis Busakwe, please?
Thank you.
Executive Mayor.
Point of order, Speaker.
Speaker, I understand the issue in the agenda. But let me also say, if you look at rule number.
Point of order, Speaker. We corrected that one in number 10. Can we continue? No, Speaker. No. The Speaker has corrected, including 2 councillors here. To say one in number 10. We are in number 10. No, we're not going to allow you to speak. We're in number 10. Allow the Speaker to continue. No, but we're in number 10. But we're in number 10. No, it's not. It's a correction that was made here.
Then I shall wait and I.
Yes, we're in number 10.
On point number 10, since the other speakers were allowed, and since council.
No, we're in number 10.
Thank you. Councillor Mhlana, can we all be quiet? Can the meeting now proceed? Yes, I hear. We are in number 10. She's not talking now. We are in item number 10. Consideration of non-delegated matters. Can the administration please take us through?
Point of order, Speaker.
Removing to step 1 Office of the Municipal Manager, item C/168/12/24. Municipal Council recess and delegation to executive mayor for the period 18 December 2024 to January 2025. On page 47.
The item is 7, Executive Mayor.
Speak on the portfolio index, there's a mistake. It says from the 18th of December. So can you just?
That's a save.
You got it, administration?
We've got it. We apologize for that error, Madam Chair.
So it is the 13th of December. The item is 7. Councillor Olfir,
Support the recommendation.
thank you. Any seconder?
I'll second that.
Councillor Renisha, seconded.
Point of order, Speaker.
Councillor Teblanche,
Speaker, chapter 6, rules of debate, point 29. I was 10 here that I was acting wrong. Let me remind this council members to address Speaker. A member who speaks at a meeting must appropriately address the Speaker in the following manner. Should be recognized by the Speaker by the way of either switching on the microphone or by show of hands while sitting down. It doesn't say where I must speak, how I must speak. It says that I'm addressing you and you have given me a chance. You have recognized me through the rules of order, through the very same rule. So Councillor Nell must withdraw to say I was wrong. The executive mayor and the deputy mayor that said I was wrong.
and Councillor Tapai.
I can't speak for other councillors. I'm the councillor.
No, don't point, no. If you want everyone to apologize, start with Councillor Tapai. Start with Councillor Tapai.
The chapter 6 rules of debate is
I really.
I have addressed.
Showing your.
I have addressed
Now that.
as councillor Blanche. I have addressed you as councillor Blanche.
No,
And include other councillors to me.
if you want to discipline everyone, start with your neighbor.
The plans, I'm representing myself in this organization.
Yeah.
In this council, I have referred to chapter 6.
It's proceeding now. Administration, can you please take us through?
Item C, stroke 1, stroke 269, stroke 12, stroke 20. Schedule of meetings, Municipal Offices Committee for 2025, page 49.
Item 7, Councillor Renisha.
Speaker, there must just be one correction. The date there for the second meeting is the 15th of February. It needs to be the 14th. And I propose to go with the recommendations. That is corrected. Thank you.
Thank you. Proposed by Councillor Renisha with correction of the dates. Councillor Olivier. Seconded by Councillor Olivier.
Item C, stroke 1, stroke 274, stroke 12, stroke 24, Municipal Public Accounts Committee. Report on irregular expenditure incurred between March to June 2024 and wasteful and fruitless expenditure on Plettenberg Bay mowers. Page 15.
Item 7. M.
I just want council to note of the recent court judgment that irregular expenditure, unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure must be recovered. There is no more impact has to be aware. I did speak to the chairperson. There is no issue that you then send it to council for council to actually go and say that it must be registered, it must be written off. So that judgment was last month, so this incident happened before that, but take note of that judgment because it will be challenged in terms of recommending this to council. Any unauthorized irregular expenditure must be recovered from the relevant people after the investigation has been concluded. Thanks.
Thank you very much. The item is 7.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker. I will read MPEC item C, stroke 1, stroke 274, stroke 1, stroke 12, stroke 24. Municipal Public Accounts Committee report on irregular expenditure occurred between March to June 2024 and wasteful and fruitless expenditure on Plettenberg Bay mowers. I've put a brief report so that the community can understand exactly what is happening in MPEC. So MPEC primary responsibility is to ensure public funds are managed responsibly and utilized effectively. It is imperative that we as MPEC scrutinize any expenditure items that do not align with principles of good governance and financial accountability. Public money belongs to the people. Therefore, it must always be used in ways that are in the public interest or public benefit. Irregular expenditure are defined as we, the entity, receive value for money, but no processes was followed. MPEG has a responsibility towards the public to keep officials and political leadership accountable for the use of the funds and to promote consequence management for violating of conduct. Stipulated per section 32 in MFMA. As per section 16, in brackets 1, in brackets 8 of the supply chain policy, it is clearly stated that any transaction between the amount of 2,000 up to 300,000 are required to obtain in writing 3 quotations from different suppliers that are on the list of accredited prospective providers of the municipality. During the MPEG meeting dated 17 October 2024, in our oversight role, it has been become evident that the responsible official implicated in these transactions, as per Annexure A, did not follow supply chain process that was a direct violation against legislation. However, during oversight role, we did discover that the entity did receive value for money of the amount of 121,612 rand. Therefore, no monies were lost. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure. It means expenditure which was made in vain and would have been avoided had responsible care been exercised. The amount of 5,500 rand was identified as fruitless and wasteful during MPEG's oversight role. The committee scrutinized the report and concluded that monies need to be paid back by accountable officials. In conclusion, MPEG proposed that the council go with recommendations stated as 1, that council take notes of the attached irregular expenditure occurred between March and June 2024 to the value of 121,612 rand, sorry. Following the direct violation of municipalities, council approved supply chain policy. See Annexure A, it's attached. Point number 2. It council writes off the attached regular expenditure transactions of the value of 121,612 rand as there was value for money. Point number 3. The council take note of the fruitless and wasteful expenditure occurred between August and September 2023 to the value of 5,500. Point number 4. That consequence management should be followed against the officials implicated in the report with intention to recover the money, and that municipal manager should report back to council about the progress report. See attached Annexure B. Thank you. I propose a vote with this.
Thank you, Speaker. The MPEG chair has actually made it clear why is it that we have MPEG. And with regards to recoveries, then we need to rectify the information so that we are not informed or we are not found chasing a different person or a person that was not responsible for a irregular expenditure. There's an amount that is actually mentioned in the annexure, an amount that was injected as a result of a United Nations session that we had at the Beacon Island Hotel. However, if you read in detail in terms of the office that was responsible there, it stated that it was the executive mayor's office and the manager in the office that actually signed this off. I remember this, and colleagues would actually assist me if they also remember that the United Nations interaction was not from the mayor's office, but from the deputy mayor's office. So if there's going to be any rectification that's done, it must be done right. The session was actually a session between the municipality and the United Nations, steered by the deputy mayor's office. I was invited, I was a part of that. So I'm not sure how is it that, according to the records, it's actually coming from a different office now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes. On behalf.
I second
Thank you very much. MM?
Not Speaker, the issue raised by Councilman Lava will come out in the consequence management.
Yeah.
Because what we are dealing with, the project might have been run in the office of the mayor or the deputy executive mayor. The issue is who is the official that made contact with the service provider. So that matter will be dealt with in the consequence management. But I think the issue of each office at this time, because unless they are regularly made contacts for the venue, we're dealing here with official that circumvent the supply chain processes. We're not dealing with as to which office dealt with the project. The issue is about who circumvent the supply chain processes. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Moving to the next.
C/1/275/12/24. Appointment of Acting Director Community Services for the period not exceeding 3 months from 1 January 2025 to 31st March 2025, page 63.
The item is filing.
Speaker,
Councillor Branch.
Speaker, can I propose that we, let me get it right, give me right 5 minutes.
Interesting.
Speaker, you and the,
Acting Director, can you please excuse us so that we finish this?
Come on, Chief. You know the procedure. Come on. Relation number 95, procedure. Speaker, can I request that another official depart from this chambers, please? That Ms. Valdeman also leave, please. That we can
For what reason?
debate.
He will get into it.
Can I just ask that you please ask her to also leave the chambers?
I'm not clear for what. Why must I don't know, was
Must see it affects.
Yeah, I want to do a recommendation. I know we're going to debate around this.
no, she can't leave because this item doesn't concern her. Yeah.
Propose. Okay, Speaker, can I propose that we then appoint Stania Valdeman for the director acting period 1st January 2025 to 31 March 2025. And I state my reasons that we not go with this recommendation. See.
Pompier?
Speaker,
I'm still on the-
And then can you excuse us, Mrs. Valdeman? Pompier?
Speaker, I'm still on the field.
Speaker, there was a proposal. I propose that we stay with the original proposal and that we vote on.
Speaker, I'm still on the floor. What is this thing? The procedure today is Jermaka. On the floor, you've not been recognized, you speak. And when I do it, it's wrong. I'm on the floor, Councillor Nell.
I'm not involved. Speak to the speaker.
Yeah. Speaker, I'm on the floor.
Blanche?
Speaker, if you can remember, you and the executive mayor and the MM, I've written you an email regarding the latest happening around this director. It even went this far that the MM had to call some sort of emergency meeting, however you're going to see. In my email, I've written to you the latest happenings around what has happened involving the current acting director. To an extent that there was damages to the public, a member of the public, the properties has been damaged. I've written in my email that the staff, the moral is low under this acting director. So therefore, I would propose counter proposal on this recommendations that we appoint other woman in the department to avoid anything going forward. Let's restore the trust, the morals, the valuations, or the, what do you call these things? Let's restore our workers. Because the workers is suffering. Whether we want to deny it, whether you want to vote on it, the workers is suffering. There's stress in this department. I'm proposing that we go with another acting director for this period. You can vote it out. I'm proposing that we go with Ms. Tanya Wilderman for the next period, 3 months.
If I can add to come.
Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, Councillor de Blanche is alluding to things that I don't have any knowledge of because I haven't seen the correspondence. So I understand that. What I also want us to consider is the time of year that we're in as well. Now, we're sitting mid-December in a critical department, and would it be wise to change and have someone else come in and have to catch up? So that's just something that I think we need to consider as well in terms of where we are at the moment. If we've got concerns, then maybe instead of extending it for 3 months, extend it for a month till in January, but to get us over this critical time of the year. So that's just my input on that thing.
MM.
Speaker, can I just come in? First thing to address, Speaker, you know, when anyone speaks on my name, I tend to respond, and I must respond appropriately because that's the only thing I have. That's the only credibility I have. I want to put it on record here. I've never called any emergency meeting. I don't know what Councillor Terplan is talking about the cancel of the emergency meeting. Secondly, he has written to myself, the mayor, I think the speaker. Sorry, Councillor Olivier, not even the speaker. Councillor Olivier, myself, and the mayor. Now we are dealing with an official that is acting on the position, and his conditions of employment are governed by the bargaining conditions of employment services. Councillor Terplan has put perceptions and allegations which have not been tested and proven. He's putting perceptions about staff morale which have not been investigated, are under still a process of investigation. I have dealt with the grievance at the beaches. That's not an emergency meeting. There's a grievance that was brought to me, which I still have to give a verdict and the outcome of that matter. So I just wanted to correct that. Now, I need to then stand here and protect the employees, because to put perceptions as reality, as a truth, it will be wrong. That is his views. That matter has not been determined. So we are investigation. What he has submitted to my office, we will come back to council with that investigation. I just wanted to be on record in terms of that. Thanks.
Thank you, MM. Executive Mayor.
The Speaker, we have received the invitation from Councillor de Blanche. Also to note that there is procedures to follow internally. Should staff members feel harassed or should staff members feel intimidated, you need to follow the proper protocols. I also want to stress the importance of us having continuation. Sorry, it's my Afrikaans tongue. In the organization, you know, because now we are, as Councillor Swart said, during the festive season, for us to change directors or acting directors now, it is not advisable. I understand this whole thing of Councillor Terplan. He feels passionate about this specific subject for various reasons. Yeah. And I would second the proposal of Councillor that we go with the recommendations by us.
Thank you very much. Any seconder for Councillor Terplan?
You see, that's why I wondered earlier on, but you amped me down. That's why I said there's continuation in all of these things. You always run around these things. I'm saying there's cases opened. Cases opened. You are saying I am insinuating there is a case open. The police came and delivered a protection order against the state office.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you. Around these things.
Let me protect my staff. Let me protect my staff. There is no order that can
In an open meeting. In an open meeting.
Are guilty of anything. Let us respect the constitution of this country. Siyasanda Bandala is going through a process internally and outside. There is no court of law that is found him guilty.
Thank you.
Let us not
There you confirm it. Thank you. Thank you. You are confirming. There you confirm it. It's happening. Thank you. Let's continue, Speaker.
And that is the constitution of the country.
The MMS just admitted there is something. Let's continue.
Has not been found guilty
No meeting
court of law.
The MMS just sending itself.
When is second?
Speaker first. There's a counter proposal.
Let's propose, we'll step aside.
That's why it is up. I, Councillor Nels, vote against the alternative proposal submitted by Councillor Brown. Go with the original proposal.
Thank you much. It is already seconded. Can we move?
That's why I'm voting.
Yeah, the item is.
You don't have a second of vote. What?
The item is proposed by Councillor Nel and seconded by the Executive Mayor. I've asked a seconder for the proposal of Councillor Blanche. There's no seconder. So the item is closed. We go with the recommendation of Acting Director or Sanda Van Daan.
Thank you very much, Speaker.
I'm just raising point of order with the behavior of Councillor Blanche. It's not supposed to be.
On what rule? On what rule?
Allegations here in a public meeting about people. Yes, out of order.
On what rules?
Protected by councilors.
On what rule?
Council meeting. It's protected.
Oh, yes, sure. Rules just rising.
Thank you very much. Administration, can we please move?
Hi, Speaker. Speaker, request the rule from the Deputy Mayor, please. Spoke without the rule.
Item 6/1/276/12.
I love you.
Review of the organizational structure for 2025-2026, page 65.
See the rule now. Well, such a typical.
Can we call Acting Director or Van Daan? You can come back. The item is finished.
On the end of the day.
Item is 7. Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, for the majority of my time in council, I've always served from an opposition bench. But my commitment to this council and to the community has never wavered. We sat here over a week ago, a workshop on the proposed organogram. Spoke lengthily about it, and a resounding feeling in that session was that we need to prioritize service delivery specific roles. And my understanding from that session was that this is to actually kick off in the new financial year, which begins on the 1st of July next year. And it will be done in phases, right? And focus and priority will be actually put at service delivery. I try at all costs, no matter how much we sit at opposition benches, that with regards to public finance, with regards to this municipality and serving our communities, try to join forces. It was quite disappointing that a position that is non-existent in the existing organogram, but existing in the revised one for next year, a position was actually advertised last week. Now I feel my time and my efforts in council to actually try and be a team player are actually wasted. If by the time we step out of council, there's actually decisions that are made for positions to be advertised that are not part of the existing structure. It is demoralizing, and it actually gets me to a point where I'm thinking, do I need to be in council, or must I just submit a leave of absence and let whoever's decided decide? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Blanche.
Is session recommendation number 4 For our session that we had, it will be implemented 25, 26 and 26, 27. I see there's 24, 25.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Because during the session, we agreed
2 years.
to say we're gonna implement this revised one in the upcoming 2 financial years. So it says that 24, because we are currently in 24, 25 now. So it must say 25, 26 and 26, 27. Recommendation number 4. But second to that, Speaker, I want to get clarity now. That's one, Speaker. On the current 122, 23, it says political office staff support. The current one that's been advertised, it says council support. The 2. Although we said we're gonna only implement next financial year, but the position has already been advertised as council support, while on the existing one, it says political office bearer manager. Can I get clarity on that, please?
Thank you very much. Mr. Manager,
Thanks, Speaker. Before I respond, you don't mind saying my appreciation on the opening words and statement of Councillor Makaba, and having been here since 2022, I have observed in terms of what he just said exactly. So that's an appreciation from the administration side, and I think not only from me, from everyone at the office. So let me just go quickly to the issue of 2024-25. We are sitting with the challenge. One, the challenge is that the current structure, as explained in the workshop, is not in line with the staff regulations. Not going back to that history in terms of what has happened. So this structure must try and show compliance that with a structure that is in line with the regulations. So that is the first part. The second part, we've got critical service delivery positions, which we were unable to fill now because of the structure of 2023 was approved. And one example that I've made is that whole unit of the street lights maintenance. So we have looked at the matter, discussed it with administration. If we're going to say 2025, 2026, then it means it's not a problem for us, but council must then accept that those critical positions are not going to be filled between January and June. We will sit with those issues where you will write, and then more especially electricity, you will then be informed there's no staff, and all of that, they're short of staff. So the structure as proposed now, it tries to address that, to give administration an opportunity to actually be able to look at the critical positions that can be filled in the next 4 months, which must still be advertised in January. So that is why it is like that. The rest of the implementation of the structure still sticks to the new financial year, and over that period, I think maybe we should have just put the issue of 2024, 25, 26, and over the next three-year period, because it's discussing in the workshop that it should be up until the term of the new election. So the challenge that we are having is that you're not going to be able to deal with the critical vacancies engineering now because they are not properly provided a structure. And the question will be exactly what Councillor Manglava is actually addressing. Coming to that question now, as you are aware, in terms of the challenges at HR, so the municipal manager, again, I must repeat this thing of Section 30 in the staff regulations. It gives the municipal manager a discretion to look at the matter and then not necessarily apply with Section 29 for specific reasons. So that is why, because the position of, I assume the councillor is talking about 2 positions. The position at HR of benefits and administration as a direction, those positions were split. So while we are waiting for this process, you need somebody to run the recruitment selection of the municipality, which you don't have. So that is why I gave an authority for that position to be advertised so long using Section 30. But also, there was a structure that was sent to council recently to amend the political office, So that structure has slightly changed from this one. So the position that is advertised there is the, I think, manager support, council support. So all of those positions are linked to the term of the political office bearers. So the council support, we've discussed it with the director, also must be linked in terms of that term, so that, whatever happens in 2026, those positions remains in terms of that. So that is why I've actually advertised. It was based on the recent approval, that was done by council. So the challenge we're having is that you've got certain critical positions. Without this structure, you're unable to move. And every time you're going to ask questions, how was this advertised? And every time I have to reply that I use section 30 of the staff regulations. That is why we want to correct it going forward and know we've got a structure and we follow exactly what section says to us. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you. Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I think especially some of our service departments, such as engineering services, has been under tremendous pressure as a result of there were vacancies in the department, and then also not being aligned really with the mandate that is. So I think this item is very, very important, as it will enable us to accelerate service delivery. Even when we had our staff meetings, even if you compare the volume or the number of staff members in the engineering department to, for instance, the community services department, it is really skewed. Our org structure is not aligned currently with those functions. So I would propose that we accept these recommendations in the interest of service delivery. There are various challenges that councils, especially I know ward councils, has experienced in the last couple of months relating to this specific department. And this is an attempt for us to really address those issues. My proposal is, Speaker, that we accept this recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Oliver.
I would like to second it.
Thank you very much. Can we move to the next item?
Section 2, Finance, C/2/243/11/24. Financial information statement, long-term debt to the amount of 40,545,000 rand, page 70.
Item 7, Ombia.
Speaker, I propose that we go with the recommendation.
Councillor Mhlana.
Second, Chair.
Thank you. Next item.
C/2/248/11/24. Request to nominate representatives to participate in the management body of the special rating area, page 81.
Item 7.
Speaker, I propose we go with the recommendations. Manager.
Councillor Oliver, second. Next item.
Point of order, Speaker.
Councillor Teblanche.
Speaker, you see why I'm going to continue to raise a point of order. In the previous item, my hand was up. Deliberately looked that way. So therefore, I will have to make use of the rules of order and do my things through point of order, because I wanted to ask something in the previous item, but you decided, obviously for your own reasons, outside of this chamber, you have already made decisions. But I wanted to add something, then ask a question, but you decided to look to the caucus.
Sorry, Councillor Teblanche.
So I will then make use of the rules of order.
I didn't see you. I didn't see your hand. I didn't deliberately look on the other side.
Bring it on focus items, or you guys are talking outside of these chambers. At other items, you look at me very fast. At negotiation items, you look that way.
Negotiation items.
Like in the electricity one, you're going to look to me very fast.
Yeah.
Speaker.
I'm telling you, you love me.
Speaker.
What rule did you write?
It's so unfortunate that that previous item that was talking about the board and so on, where the executive mayor was going to be part, I thought it was going to be explained to us in council why a board and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Now, the way we are doing things now is to rush items as if there is something sinister about those items, you see. Or let's rush the item so that they cannot ask questions. We don't know why the executive mayor must be in a board, what type of a board. Those are the things that we want, because these items are not written by us. They are written by officials. Then therefore, what Councillor Terreblanche was saying, you were privy in getting info about those items. Now you know them and you rush them off. Yes, I can read it at my house, the item, but when I'm here, it's where officials must take us to confidence about those items that they are writing.
Thank you, Councillor Tabai. I'm giving the municipal manager an opportunity to just explain the item.
Yes, so we're going back. Can you go back to that item?
Can you go back?
Speaker, thank you very much. So the item is a child rating, participating in a special rating area. Now, let me try and collect myself. Let me try and collect myself, Speaker, because when I say things that can get the meeting to get out of hand. Speaker, this council approves a special rating area. This council approves a special rating area. It was an application by the Hereboms. Sorry, let us really.
They'll order, man. You don't rise on the road.
So it was approved, application by NET. We then prepared a policy that explained and defined what is the special rating area. That item was deliberated and explained in council how the special rating area work. Just to refresh everyone's memory. What has then happened? Council has then approved Nature's Valley as a special rating area. We then even prepared and submitted an item in terms of if they want additional service delivery, they would pay a portion amount in contribution to that. So that was discussed in this council. That's refreshing the memory. Now, this item now was short of only one thing, that as a municipality, we need to be represented in that board of that special rating area so that the decision that they take, we are able to be part of that and advise them from that. Now, Councillor Kamkam is now nominated by council to serve on that board. My apologies. We could not write the whole background to say that this council has already approved that. We thought that that matter is given, it was done. So where we are now is to just nominate a person. So apologies on our side if we needed to write the history about this was approved at that time already and the policy was approved. I think maybe that's where if we have made a mistake on our side, we thought it was not necessary to write that because that's already a council resolution that was taken. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much, Councillor Tabai.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me this precious opportunity to ask, whereas the item has been seconded, the proposal seconded. You see, we are old. I'm old. Let me talk about myself. I've got amnesia. I'm assisting those words that are going to be said. That you've got amnesia and stuff like that. It's human nature. Then if you are growing up, you don't have the problem of forgetting. You are a supernatural God. You are perfect out of this world, of the universe.
5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Very much. Administration, can you please take us to the next item?
9. ECM stroke 2023 stroke 74 stroke fin. Development of implementation of a revenue management program for an additional period of 1 year ending 30 June 2026, page 83.
Item is serving on Pia.
Speaker, before I propose, this is an important issue because these people are dealing with really technical stuff. And what we need to know is that there is a skills transfer taking process taking place in this process so that we have our own staff that can do these things within our own organization. With that, Speaker, bearing that in mind, I propose to go with the recommendation.
Thank you. Naba?
Thank you, Speaker. Before I second the recommendations, when we started off with this PwC exercise, we were unsure of what benefits will actually come with to the municipality. However, if you have been reading our revenue collection for the past 6 months, you realize it is as a result of this exercise. And the good about it is that it is run by a consultant, and we have our local youth that is actually working close with them. And we are hoping that by the time the contract comes to an end with us, we'd be able to actually house it within the municipality. And it will be really beneficial to the educated youth that has been sitting unemployed, because now they're actually part of the program. And we've seen the difference it's actually made in terms of contribution to our revenue. And with that being said, I support the recommendations.
Thank you very much. Moving to,
Sorry, Speaker. I think partly Councillor Mel wanted to know more about service transfer and everything else. Can we be given a background? How many people that have been employed and all that? I do understand what Councillor said, but can we get
Speaker, without having to actually waste time, because I don't want us to actually minimize this program to just the people and. Earlier this year, we sat with the manager at revenue and the team, and they took us through where we were before they came on board, and what changes or what have they identified in our area. And we knew, and then from there we knew exactly who's part of the program and what they do or what they get up to on a day. I would rather we are afforded another session like that one, where council will be actually workshopped in terms of what PwC is about, what they've done in the municipality, what they'll continue to do with that information that is actually required by DM.
No, Speaker, I'm not sure if the councillor still want me to respond. Councillor Mangaba is actually covering the matter very correctly. We've got you, that is there. The reason we're asking for this extension is it started a little bit late. You will see in the organigram, just council that just approved, we're making provision to insource those people once this contract actually ends and appoint those people internally in the municipality. I think there's an accountant revenue announcement. There's other officers that are part of that other structure. So we're making provision already as they exit. Then we're able to look at having those people. The only thing we have not done is to make a contract with PwC to say, train these people for us to take them. Because then Voyo and Makelezi are saying to me, you are already preempting without having advertised. Because they understand that about it makes life easy for us. So PwC keeps on adding staff members based on the need. How many staff members are there now? PwC has taken?
They've got about 10 now, Emma.
10 now. It's about 10 young people that are in the program now. But as the demand grows, they normally take, it's project based. Some people are specifically for a project for 24 months. Others will be shorter and longer, So those people are trained everywhere. So we are covered in terms of that. Councillor Nava is correct in terms of that process.
Bill, are you clear?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, I think the proposal of Councillor Naba's second and his explanation aligns with what my thinking is. The only concern I really had is that we do have a process of skills transfer, commitment to skills transfer, so that we have well-trained people. PricewaterhouseCoopers has done an excellent job. It is a big organization and they can support us, but we can't continue relying on them. So if we have to train people within our own organization, scheme benefits are coming out of this recovery process. I'm using my words now, but
Rather the council.
anyway, I think I've been covered. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Can we move to the next section?
Section 3, corporate services. Stroke 3, stroke 251, stroke 11, stroke 24. Closure of municipal offices between Christmas and New Year 2024-2025, page 87.
Item 7. Councillor Phil,
To go with the recommendation.
Councillor Blanche.
Got you. See how quick you look to me.
That's okay.
I said earlier on, I second. See how quick you look to me. You love me.
Ek wens ek kan net jou hand opsteek en praat en nog nie lang stories gee. Moving to the next item.
Stroke 3, stroke 258, 12, stroke 24. Councillors' utilization of a municipal owned motor vehicle for official purposes, page 90.
Item 7, Councillor Blanche.
Recommendation number 1, you give the vehicle to Councillor Olivier, please. It's been started in many years. I support the recommendations.
Councillor.
Thank you for the vehicle. I second it.
Hoe bedankt betaal aan uw dorst.
Die weet ek betaal ek nie sakheid.
Please, stroke 3, stroke 259, stroke 24. Progress report on policy and enforcement regarding Spaza shops and related business, page 130.
Item 7. Pompeo.
Speaker, I propose that we note this important item and I hope that we ensure that the continued investigation do not stop.
Councillor Mhlana.
Yes, Speaker, no, in the last meeting I was not here. Which one? But I think let's first do a correction. I think it's Act 54 of 1972. Two, I just want to get clarity why is Olweni Boseskhef pine trees is combined with the New Horizon. Because I think people of Ward 3 would like to understand how many Spaza shops are there in Ward 3. To Speaker, we seen through social media that there are permits that have been issued out by the municipality. Who are those permits issued out to? Because we have not received a report yet after the announcement by the president that there should be registration. So there was no report submitted to this council that there are 150 people who have applied. In the 150 people, there are 5 South Africans and the rest is foreign nationals. The concern which I have, Speaker, is that while officials are posing with foreign nationals when issuing these permits, we're not sure whether those foreign nationals that they are posing with are illegal immigrants or asylum seekers or whatsoever. So I remember this, not for the first time, this happened as this council. We took all party political affiliation and we went to Wanugutula with the administration. And after that, we took a decision here to develop a policy. And there was a political motive on that decision. I'm not going to say what was the motive, but there was a motive. But I am disappointed, Speaker, to say that the councillors are reduced to only dissemination of information when it comes to this program. Officials were in my ward. I was never even invited. I don't know who they met in my ward. I'm not part of what is happening when it comes to this program. Yet this program concerns us as lawmakers in this land. And we need to stand for our people. our people are South Africans, irrespective of color, but are South Africans. And I think that we need again to be hands-on in this program, Speaker. There is quite a number of things that are done, which I think they are done wrong. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Councillor Blanche.
Yeah, Speaker, thanks, man. It is concerning the way we are moving on this actioning of the Spaza shop. As much as I know, 95% of my data in my ward, how many shops is there, whatever. But it's still concerning after the action of 9 December, I would have expected us to at least have a report at this meeting, because at the end of the day, we must walk this thing hand in hand. Because for instance, in Kersodweg, where there's 5 Spaza shops, none of them is compliant. I saw only on Facebook that they've closed one. So when I move around, I don't have background information as to why are they closed. Are they complying with rule? Are they not licensed? Are they the documentation in order? All those things. So I therefore cannot just go and then say, hey, my man, I've seen you on Facebook, your door was closed. Why is your door open now? So a detailed report would have helped us a lot. Like I said, I know in Ward 4, there's only 2 shops that is owned by the locals. The rest is foreigners. The 18 of them is foreigners. But a report to us as councillors, specifically us as ward councillors, would help a lot, so that we can also help the municipality, just to make sure that we actioning these things correctly. Because the community asked us, hey, I've seen on Facebook this shop is closed. Why is it open? So that's just what's in line with Councillor Mhlana has also raised there. And then we can also know that is the shop in Hildefay, they've got 2 workers there. One is not licensed, one is not, doesn't have documentation, all those kind of things. So a report would really help, a detailed report on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. On the risk of sounding like I'm repeating what's said already, I think a piece of legislation that is actually missing on the relevant legislations is a policy we actually crafted here in council around informal tradership. And I think we need to get to a level where we are proactive when it comes to things and not to react because of what's actually happening globally. Because if you read through that piece of legislation, it does state clearly that locals will always be prioritized where tradership is concerned. If we revisit the notes from the AG's report, it was stated that as the municipality, we are unable to alleviate poverty. I don't think that's the fact, but it's because there's no sense of integration in our departments where that issue is concerned. So it's something that must be looked into, not based on a reaction on what we see on social media, but when we actually join hands with regards to these pieces of legislation and what they mean for our people in the community, we are supposed to actually be leading these things and not just be sharing information. Because at the moment, we really are caught wanting when we ask questions that we don't have answers to.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I believe the applications are closing tomorrow, right? All the applications, if you want to have a Spaza shop, even the foreigners, they are closing tomorrow. And then also to all these parts of legislations, for that matter, we were the first municipality to come up with drafting a bylaw in terms of Spaza shops, as if we knew this problem is going to arise. Now, that's where my challenge is when we say we give 21 days for people to apply, and officials visit these Spaza shops and find out that really the modus operandi is not right for that particular community. it's closed. Again, you find out that it's opened. And I really want officials to tell us really, were there applications that were given to these foreign nationals while we were busy with the 21 days of application? Seriously, that is the challenge that I will be having as a council, because it's where the communities now come to us and say, really, what is happening now? I'm fine on the side of saying, okay, we are waiting for 21 days, and immediately after 21 days, law enforcement, all these sections of departments, then they will act. But now this issue that there were foreign national shops that were opened again, and what was the reason for them to open? I don't know whether I'm asking a question because it is opening up a can of worms. I'm talking about one of Tula now.
Yes.
One of Tula is a ticking time bomb. And as legislators, we must be able, especially councillors, we must be able to speak to our people. Because this notion is a xenophobic tendency. Because immediately communities act, then xenophobia is written boldly there. So as legislators, we must be able to be well informed about what is really happening. Because whatever that is happening in those wards, officials, the point of entry is a councillor, a ward council, small. Even in rural areas, you don't go there and have a party. You report, even if you're going to do a ritual for your children, you go to Westbourne and report. Now, when officials just go and sit and do whatever, then it becomes a problem.
Again, can you please help us on?
Thank you, Speaker. Everyone. This matter is two. Firstly, let me apologize for not having a report earlier to council, but unfortunately the report to council, we want to submit a full report with all statistics and a report. We want to come to council and have what is still being captured, because we're still busy capturing all the information that is required for us to understand what is it that we have on the ground. That is why we don't have a particular report that is directly speaking to as to how many Spaza shops that we currently have, because we're still receiving applications as we're sitting now. The notice of the applications that we received, remember that we've got this is twofold. We've got business license as well as the land use application. This we try by all means to have this run. So when the business owner comes and apply, they go to LED, and as soon as they are getting that not necessarily an approval but a temporary approval, then they also need to apply for the land use. Because remember that the businesses where they are operating in, mostly it's residential areas, which are not business zones. Now, when they come with the owners to us, more especially those that are national foreigners. They do not come themselves. They are given a consent by the owner of that particular property. So that's how these applications have been captured and combined. So in this process, whilst we're doing that, We also have an office that is registering exactly how many that we have received. But we are also having people that are going on the ground to pinpoint how many Spaza shops that we have in Guanotula. And in Guanotula, how many applications have we received? Then we put a red flag for each and every Spaza shop that we have not received any application for. Or even if the application has been submitted, but if there was no payments being done for that particular application, that Spaza shop is also a red flag. I think I should also, through you, Speaker, apologize for public participation that were done without having consulted the ward councillors. But these were also, it's one of those that were publicized to say that on these particular dates will be in the wards. And we must also remember that this came as the municipality or as the country in a very short notice that we need to be compliant within a certain period of time. So we need to apologize that we did not necessarily inform ward councillors formally to say that on this particular day we will be in your ward council, in your specific wards. But those are the processes that we're currently following with regards to the capturing of businesses and business applications. Whether it's a national foreigner or is it a South African, they are treated the same way. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. Mark has covered me in all of it in capturing the data and owners coming with that. Because I think what we're finding in some cases might be a foreigner, but it's a local that's actually doing the application, and that's where we need to type up and make sure that the foreign national is correctly documented. But I think we need to just take the recommendation somewhere where it's not just noting it, and maybe add a second point to say that the administration to keep councillors informed of when they will be active in their wards. At least that way the councillors are aware of it. I understand what Mr. Markey said about public notices put out. So there were public notices out. We're also not seeing the public notices as councillors. Maybe we're not getting to the total base that we get to. And I think we must be there's no active awards, just that councillors can keep up to speed as well. As the first recommendation stays as is, and the second recommendation is that the administration notifies councillors of any planned activity in the awards.
Thank you very much. Executive Mayor.
Speaker, I think put upon the council's side. However, I explain also what the other councils are saying, because the council, they just reporting to councils to say that we are going to be in specific work at the time. It is also about the assessments we've done and about the report back of the findings of those assessments to councils, because as Councillor Kabaya rightly said, and Councillor Kabaraj, at the end of the day, we do get where it's from the whole things. As to the shop was open, how the shop was there. We don't always have answers as to what exactly happened. So that would be very much helpful, just to keep us informed. Because, the community, they do see us as this. And we are the link in the community and the municipality. So I understand officials, they are pressed for time. As Mr. Markey rightly said, this thing failed and they are pressed for time and they need to do certain things within a very tight time frame. But it would be appreciated if the findings of those assessments can also be submitted to council, just for us to be able to know what is happening. And also in terms of what type of decisions were made, because there was this incidence of tablets, where shops were open and then shops are closed again and then shops are opened again, and none of us actually really knew what was happening. We had to phone every time law enforcement or maybe some officials to find out what is happening. Where is that situation could have escalated into, something like unrest. It also could have escalated into the latest, as we've seen in other parts of the country. Kids were submitted to hospitals, so we had to, we had to have precautions in place all the time. But I also want to say, as a ward councillor, I have seen that they actually did submit reports to me for my ward in terms of the mapping that they've done. And they've also submitted the applications. And I think some of those from the emails that I saw, I had to, had time till the actually make submissions. So now we are in that space again where, it's a recess and the situation is not necessarily going to go away. So we will have to have a strategy on how to deal with it. But yeah, there is information for councillors that has been emailed. It is going to be difficult to deal with that. It's not going to be easy. But yeah, I totally support in terms of, us just getting a clearer understanding of the assessments that was the findings. And I would support the recommendation of Councillor Swats.
Sorry? Councillor Seti?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you so much. Speaker, before I can ask one question that I'm having where I'm sitting, I just want to say, I thought the officials of this municipality will be having 1 or 2 meetings just before we close to give clarity to the community about this whole thing, because what I'm hearing
Network is cut.
don't have enough information as councillors. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Councillor.
All right. Then now, another question that I'm having, but it's not a question now. Just click Solomon now. I remember on my report back meeting, my last one, I had one official from the municipality which explained the processes after the president was speaking, after the president addressed the issue of Spaza shops, but I had one official who explained it. But then also, I don't think that was enough, because our people are having meetings, maybe 1 or 2, after 2 days, having meetings, seeking answers about these things. But my question now, Speaker, now is one. Is it really true that now the application has been extended? I mean, the registration of the date has been extended to the 13th. Is that true? Because that is what now they are arguing about, that they don't even know that the date has been extended to the 13th of December. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Seti. Is the registration extended to the 13th of December?
So that maybe the MM can come.
And also, okay, Councillor Tana?
I asked the permit. Are people, Spaza shop owners issued permits? And what is considered for the officials? And an allegation of 600 rands that is paid. What is it paid for? And to who?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Speaker. I cannot recall of any extension. First, should not authorize any extension. I'm not aware of any extension. Party said is attending funeral. Party said is attending the EEC at 10. I'm not aware of any extension. The second part, I think, what is critical is by councillors is the issue of the permits issued. So I don't have an answer now, Maria. Sell and Fairs. Permits are issued at town planning. They don't necessarily come to me. Says The question would then, have we issued permits and verified those people are actually asylum seekers or people who are here on the residential status of being business people? It becomes very important because part of this process is to assist us to clean up our house, if you understand what I mean, with the intention of giving South Africans an opportunity so that we're not seen to be giving businesses. So people who are non-compliant with other pieces of legislation of this country, So if you can assist me in explaining that. But the last one is, I think I must apologize on the issue of communication. I hear Councillor Swart propose a recommendation. I was reluctant because it's like me coming to the office. So when I come to the office, the first thing I brief the executive mayor. So when I get out, I say to the executive mayor, I'm going out in the meeting. It's something that is given. It must be there. So to put a recommendation for, but I can understand for as a recommendation that it must be there so that you can be able to hold accountable. I would propose that first, we must try, although council is on the recess every week, just keep an update for councillors, even if it's on WhatsApp, instead of waiting for January, because things are happening already in the world now. The community's got their different views because of communication gap. So I think we must still continue to inform the councillors in terms of where we are and all of that. So I would ask first to respond on this issue of the permits because it's a very critical one.
Through you, Speaker. Yes, the permits are being provided or given to the foreign nationals. Remember that for land use, we've got a tariff, so the payment is for the land use. The land use application is having a tariff that the council approved. So that's the only thing that is paid for. So for them to be given a permit, they must prove that they have paid for that application. But remember that the consultations are being done with SAPS, being done in the Home Affairs. So we do have an immigration officer that is directly linked into this program as well. So for each and every application that we receive, we also feed to them so that they can verify to us whether the applicant or the foreign national is that person in the country by virtue of is it correct that the person is supposed to be in the country or not? So we also follow that. Once the permit has been temporarily given, in the effect when it is communicated back to us to say, oh, this person is not supposed to be in the country, then that temporary license that has been given is going to be revoked. So that's how we do. But in the meantime, what we do, we don't want to give applications aside to say we're still waiting for a verification to be done. So we're giving an approval, but as soon as we are getting a feedback, then it is revoked. But we are consulting with staff, consulting with Home Affairs in this whole matter, as well as the district. Yes.
Because the item itself gives the states and answer the question. The item says the total shops are 194. 73% of the shops have submitted applications. That 73 business licenses issued as 97.8%. So around 150 business licenses were already issued.
Sorry, Speaker. Can I ask that early January we get Home Affairs? See, we have to get assurance that the approvals that we have given, those people are legal in this country. So I would not want to put the staff of the Bitou municipality now under the spotlight, but I would love us to get somebody from Home Affairs. When you do the next report, give that person from Home Affairs, say, these are the people that we have given permission again to continue. Give us a written confirmation that they are legally in the country. I think that is what we want to establish as a matter of fact, So I think in the next report, let's try and do that. We do send it to them. We did speak to them, but there seems to be a loop in terms of the confirmation by Home Affairs and SARS that they are indeed in the country legally. So let's just maybe get that confirmation in writing from Home Affairs and SARS. Thanks.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. The report seems to be going to a right point as we have initiated this role before even the call of the president. Somehow you find now that a national government put it solely to be under the municipal prerogative to drive these things of the Spazas. And as it was now, you could see that it's proclaimed like that. It starts now really to put more work and pressure to the officials to do it well. I might say, by the time it was starting, it would bring some little bit of loopholes, but as we have started, and I think we need to applaud our officials for being proactively doing things. I find now from this, from the concerns, there was a missing link between the ward councillors and the officials. I would that how can we not treat this as the case of the indigent policy? Because you'll find that in the indigent policy, whatever the people are bringing up to the officials, but ultimately it becomes the councillor who signs and attests to the situation of each and every household. So for me, it's not enough just to say, let's inform the ward councillors especially. I think let they be part and also be responsible to say we attest to this application that came in and the conditions and whatever, because really most of the time it's them that stands in front of the communities and say this is the case. So I would appeal also to the department, because this is cooperative and also strategic that are leading this. I would appeal, Mr. Maki, that let it not be just, meaning that let's add to the recommendation that let it be treated like the case of the indigent, so that the councillors can know mainly who is what is going on, who's getting this. And by the time I was following it, they were saying in the directorate, people are there, they are verifying with the applications, with the officers in George that are dealing with the immigrants. But as KOMM is saying, it's not enough. Let's get it here. They verify in front of the councillors so that the councillors can also have legs and for the city to stand in front of the communities about whatever that the officials have done. That's my proposal.
Speaker.
Yeah, I think lastly from me, Speaker, and I want to get close to what MM said. I want to caution the municipality. We had meetings with immigration officers, and what they've raised was that we must be careful of immigrants because they have NGOs and lawyers. So we must not fall into the trap of issuing permits, and those permits are taken to court and were challenged as a municipality by giving a permit to an illegal or an immigrant. So we must just be very, very careful as a municipality on this issue. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Mhlana. Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm big on trying to ensure that when we deal with such issues, there's a sense of integration where our departments are concerned. So that while we are actually dealing with registering Spaza shops and ensuring that whoever is actually registered, if they are foreign nationals, they are documented and we follow all these things, that at some point we see a benefit even in revenue side. So I'll appeal at this point, I may be going off on a tangent, that the list of registration must also be sent to Zindlu, so that we know that in our indigent register, we don't have the same business existing as indigent. If they are business that are actually running, because if you look into the policy when we crafted it, we did say if you are 50% of your house is used as business, that entire space must be zoned as business, so that you don't get to benefit from the indigent benefits. We need to be able to have a sense of integration in dealing with these issues, so that when we are helping on one end, we shouldn't be robbing on the other. Again, there seems to be a not so clear indication or communication rather, where non-compliance is concerned. Do we close them down for 7 days when they're non-compliant, for them to actually sort their house out, and then we have them open again? For us to find that when we do another run of compliance, we find them not non-compliant, what do we do then? Because I would rather we are clear that should there be this much strikes of non-compliance, you are not to operate again. Because now it will be a futile exercise that we actually keep doing these rounds if there is no result from it. And then again, I understand we are living in the time where we assume everyone has access to internet, Facebook, and websites. And that now we've left majority of the community outside the equation. We have notice boards at taxi ranks and community halls that are not utilized to actually take this information to the public. We have the public participation office that is not beating at the moment to ensure that flyers and information is actually shared in our communities, which then causes all these meetings and these quarrels between us and the communities. We need to go back to that where information sharing is concerned. That yes, we have access to WhatsApp, yes, we have internet access, but there is a privilege from my end that the majority of my community does not have. So we need to have a sense of integration where this is concerned. Beyond that, the recommendations, we can keep them as they are. However, we need to keep track of progress from time to time.
Thank you very much, councillors. Executive Mayor. Thank you. Moving to the next item.
Yes, excused.
Excuse.
Moving to the next item.
C/260/1274 draft customer care section. Motivation: change the customer care section's working hours for the festive season, page 133.
Item 7. Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to know, in terms of the recommendations, is there any procedure in place for what happens when customer care now goes off duty and it gets transferred to the CCC centre? Because the concern is that sometimes the phone doesn't get answered. And I don't know if it's because the toll-free line is not transferred or if it's some other reason. But obviously, if customer care is not going to be operating between certain hours, the number that the public phones needs to be with the control centre, because it's the number that the public's going to phone all the time.
I just want to know, and then through you, Speaker, the merger of Triple C and the customer care. Is it also going to wait for the 2025, 2026 budget, or something that can be done quick, as you are hearing Councillor Swartz now?
Director, help us.
No, thanks, Speaker. Through you, That's one of the areas that we believe of Councillor Mnab that needs urgent attention. They don't have to wait for the new financial year. I'm saying this because a question we have asked both myself and the Director of Operations is give us statistics. How many calls are coming? If you are saying you are working 24 hours at this side and 24 hours at this side, give us all the statistics for the month. How many calls have you received from 4:30 until this time? And the number of those calls prove that there's no need for these people to be sitting 24 hours there. Those calls can continue until 10, and then they then go to the customer. Now there's been a big brother issue with this thing. We had a meeting with both sections. Our instruction is simple. Council has made a decision. They must live with that decision of council. So we have given them to implement this, and we're hoping then that by end of January, February, it would have been completed, implemented. And if not, myself and the director will then implement it ourselves. We have even stopped the last council's meeting. The council said they must have meetings to discuss this matter. But I think where we might have made a mistake as senior management is to get them to sit together without us being present. So we've stopped that process now to say both myself and the director are going to be sitting with them to close the matter once and for all and implement the council decision. Good to end that.
Item 7. Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. I propose we go through recommendations.
Seconded.
Thank you very much, Councillor Safari. Moving to the next section.
Section 4, Community Services, item C/4/238/12/24. Request for additional municipal support for Blitz Shark Spotters, page 142.
Item 7, Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. I know all the information is contained in the background that we've given you, but I think you need to remember why this happened and why it's important that we continue this. And other than it's created jobs, so yes, it's created jobs for our community. It's created an information channel that's helped us learn more about what's happening in our ocean as well in terms of the spotting that the shark spotters are doing and all that. But there's a bigger picture to this as to why we actually needed something like this. And that was the shark attacks that happened. And more importantly, it's to protect the municipality as well. So if we don't have a program in place, whether it be shark spotters or something else, and we do have another shark attack or fatal shark attack, it might become a risk on the municipality that people are going to say you knew that there was a risk there and you did nothing about it. So where initially this whole program was set up through the Plet Shark Action Group, and the idea was to get funding from the public. As you know, with any drama and any emergency, the public throws money at things because it's a concern at the time. But as that perceived danger disappears, so the public support also disappears. And I think that's probably the space we're in now with the Shark Spotter program. Yes, there still is funding available, but not as much because now we've had nothing happen for 2 years and people perceive it as being a risk. But through the spotting that we've had and through the regular visits that we do have by white sharks, we know that the risk is still there. So it's important that we continue with the program in some form. For now, this is the only form we have. I know there are also other private enterprises and organizations that are also setting up programs in terms of cameras and things for monitoring as well. And I believe some of them will also be able to spot movement in the water. So for now, that might be something in the future, but for now, this is still the only program that we have. So I'd like to support the recommendation as it stands there that I've worked out, if you look at the amount offered, 16 spotters, 1.5 million a year, it works out to just over 7,000 rand a month per spotter. So it seems quite reasonable in terms of the salary that someone gets. So with that, I'd like to support it.
Yeah, that's what.
MM?
Can I really come in here? I was gonna give the context of the debating for councillors before. I'm coming in here because the recommendation says the recommendation of the municipal manager. Let me just give a context of the background. I'm back. October, get contacted by Sarah from the shop spotters. This invoice for September is not paid, and the October is not paid. I make a follow up as to why. Because there's a council resolution, I think it's 800,000 that must be given to. So that council resolution is pending. So then there seems to have been a dispute with the director, superintendent at the beach, and shark spotters on two things. One, the invoice was sent 800,000 excluding VAT, but then if you include VAT, it's 800,000 plus VAT. So this is the delay that unfortunately was not resolved since July and it dragged. So I took the council resolution. I look at the council resolution. I read the council resolution. I've submitted to Sarah. Council in the resolution said 800,000. Council did not have to say 800,000 or excluding VAT because they are non-profit organization that at that time in terms of their document that they submitted to us, we assume and we understand that they are not supposed to be paying VAT in terms of that. So we cannot be giving them money that invoice includes VAT when they are not paying VAT. She then said that they are paying VAT. I said, provide me with the information and documentation because your company registration or non-profit registration in terms of the rules of SARS, we understand that you're not supposed to be paying. Then income escalated to the issue of the money, the funding is not sufficient. Now, I said, follow the same process. You applied in council, follow the same process. So the item was prepared, but I just want to caution because either one, I put my comment as a municipal manager, but it's hard to put comment of the municipal manager while we are doing. So having considered this item, Speaker, through you, Councillor Swar, firstly, to approve this would be incorrect because you are actually approving the budget of next year while the draft budget has not been drafted to council. So procedurally. So I did raise this matter with Sarah. I said, I have no objection if you want to try and apply, we would put the item to council, but I will then explain to council the procedure. So the procedure is that only next year, March, the draft budget is going to be tabled. So this must be taken through all other similar needs and requests to that budget process. And then it must get through that process. Otherwise, we will be approving this now outside of that budget process. We do have the background in terms of how this came about and everything that has happened, the results of that. So the issue of the 1.1 million, that will continue. The last council meeting said already that they must continue to get their private funding. In fact, that was the intention, that they must get their private funding so that they don't depend entirely on the municipality. The municipality supported the program and the project in principle, and the municipality was willing to contribute. So having said that, I think council should just take note now, and council should actually take the request as part of the request for the draft budget that is coming, because you can't within the year put new budget for the next year, that because you are actually approving now 1.5 million for the next financial year, but you have not even tabled the budget, Executive Mayor. So you must still table the budget in council. So I thought I would just give that background so that we can understand the context. So unfortunately, I disagree in terms of the current process, and I've explained, Sarah, that at this moment in time, the municipality will have to consider this matter in the in the draft budget for 2025-26. And through you, Speaker, I'm requesting the media to write it correctly and to quote me correctly as well in terms of this matter. In principle, we support the program. Table a budget through this request without the budget being tabled by the Executive Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you, Executive Mayor.
Speaker, what I raised and
Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. OMM has covered me appropriately where this is concerned. However, there's just two things I need to question this council pertaining to this. For starters, I'll go back again to the comments of the AG that we are unable to alleviate poverty, whereas we are funding such initiatives as well. One question that sticks out for me is, do we necessarily need to fund the shark spotters, or can we plan around giving them EPWPs for the next financial year? Which one is more feasible and viable when we look at calculations? Secondly, does it make sense for us to actually be funding shark spotters while in this season we are taking in 60 lifeguards? This is just something I need us to actually wrap our heads around. That are we really not throwing monies where we just need to be creative in terms of movement of our staff? And one other thing is, there seems to be a fashion in this town that when a municipality is not offering a certain service, there'll be a group that rise up to actually initiate such a service. Halfway through, there'll be an expectation that the municipality must take over. Exhibit A, the baboon watch. I'm not saying these things are actually unimportant, but I'm seeing a pattern that are not specializing in a certain service. You will find that there will be a community of elites that will start it off either as special rates or an initiative of their own. Halfway through, we now need to adopt it. It's something that we actually need to consider going into the next financial year, and we do the budgeting, Madam Mayor, that we need to wrap our heads around assisting without having to be wasteful and asking exactly, is this really our proficiency as a municipality? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor.
Thanks, Speaker. Speaker, I'm going at this way, is that as a municipality, we were against the wall when there was this incident of a shark attack. Remember, Councillor Davis was a mayor then. He was called left and right, and center about by the national media, even on TV. Well, as council, we had to take an initiative on how are we then going to be able to curb that challenge. Now we are lax. A non-governmental organization comes in, because this is a business proposal. Now, Alex, we are not thinking out of the box now. But listen, we have EPWPs here as a municipality. It's even worse now. We've got life. I can attest, I was at the beach. The lifeguards are working there. When you move the other side, they blow a whistle. And they are standing on those high up years of theirs. And they are doing their job. Why are we going to repeat? Why are we going to waste the money? We must have a plan as a municipality that these people are going to be insourced into our programs. We've got an EPWP program. And if then they are shark spotters, they will be treated as like lifeguards. Because to be a lifeguard, you must have a skill of swimming. You must know the environment around the beach. So because also those people that will be utilizing as shark spotters, because really this is a whole lot of money that we are spending as a municipality. Again, councillors almost say we are a service delivery related sector. Why now are we going to assist people who come up with business proposals? There are so many people out there who come to the municipality with their business proposals. We channel them the other way around that. It is a very good business proposal, but we can assist you in going the other way around. We can't really, this is too much, 1.1 million. It's 1.5. It's too much. We've got Kelland, there are shacks there. We've got Zawa, Ezakwini.
Everywhere.
And we must change that name by doing service deliveries. You see, now we are taking a lot of money and giving it to a non-profit organization, whereas we've got our own programs like extended public works program. Councillor Swart was saying it's 7,000 per person. Yo, we've got our EPWP people that are working tirelessly in waste storage for 3,500. No, we can't do that. I'm against that item. I'm against that item. That item really doesn't suit well with me.
Executive Mayor?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, after the MMA has now given us input, and looking at that item, and you look at point number 1, it says council is resolved to contribute an addition 700,000 to the pre-child supporters, equaling to 1.5 million for the 2025-2026 financial year. We are preempting our process. It has not started yet. So I don't know what the urgency was for this item, because any inputs regarding the next year's financial budget, there's an official process that us as the municipality will start. And from that process, we will consult communities. We'll come up with a draft budget. That draft budget will be advertised and all the rest of it. So I'm not comfortable with this item. Okay. So we've elaborated on it. How we need to look at the resolutions, or it's either that we withdraw this item, and the recommendation is that this item or the consideration becomes part of the budget process for the next financial year for consideration. It's for my side.
So you are seconding, or Councillor Tsapai?
She's saying she can possibly withdraw.
No. Councillor Tablanche?
Let me support the executive mayor in withdrawing this item.
Thank you.
Actually, I wanted to run on.
Yeah. MM?
Speaker, as I've said, there is a request in front of council. So if you withdraw the item, there's two things. You withdraw, the request will have to come back again to deal with it. So the best thing is to say the item is noted, the item will be dealt with in terms of that process. So you will then deliberate in that process of the new budget year, whether you fund shots for that. But I think also what is key there is that at that time, acting director, we need to bring information in terms of the difference and differentiation between what Shark Spotters does and what Life does, which I think is different in terms of what they presented. So bring that, in terms of that. So council will consider this as part of other priorities. You can withdraw it, but item will be, because it's a request, and we have to bring it to council so that we're able to respond to them. Say council has withdrawn the item, it will be considered as part. Withdraw, just totally withdrawing, we must give a proper response to them. We withdraw, we're not considering this item at all, or we're withdrawing and it will be considered as part of that process, as the executive explained, So without trying to play with words, I hope Tanya can correct, it's withdrawn. The item comes to be dealt with as part of the 2025-26 budget process.
It will come back at a later stage again, and we can debate. Because now I'm worried because I've seen this council sometimes that we take note of things, and the next moment, oh, this one is watching. The next moment, things being implemented, and it's very dangerous. So I would support that we move. So it's gonna park there. When it comes back, we debate it lengthily to say that's all the thing. So withdraw this item. Gonna go into a bay. 3-4 months down the line, it's gonna come back again.
Thank you. Executive Mayor.
Speaker, I wanted to say for me, either way, I don't have a problem because the only challenge here most now with this item in front of us is the recommendations itself, which is putting us as council in a very difficult position to, resolve on a decision that we actually only supposed to start processes for next year. So if we note, with the understanding that we will revisit it next financial year, I don't have a problem. If we withdraw it, I don't have a problem. The municipal manager advised that we note the report and then it just then state that council will deal with it. Now that he advised that we note the report.
Firstly, yes, and now it's
Yes.
withdrawn.
Yes. So he advised that we note the report and then that we deal with it in the next financial year to consider the proposal.
Sorry, can I just, for a matter of clarity, Mrs. Wolff, firstly, item B, noted, and then say withdrawn. What should I stipulate? Noted. Noted, okay, I've got it. The request be considered during its budget. Considered during the normal budget process.
Council knows item and be dealt with the normal budget process.
Councillor Tablanche.
Oh, Speaker, okay, and yeah, let's be careful here because it must appear in the fashion that we say we are going to deal with it at a later stage because as it is there's no recommendation to say council take no going down the line because as it states, there says resolve to contribute.
Two recommendations will then be that the item be noted, that the request be considered during its normal budget process.
Thank you very much. Moving to the next section.
Exporters must keep it up.
Yeah, it was Councillor Hereby and the Executive Mayor. Yeah.
Section 5.
What were you saying, Councillor? Speaker.
Councillor Hereby.
Councillor, she was speaking on my behalf. I don't know what she was saying.
Councillor Ophir.
Asking was the on this new recommendation. Remember, we were discussing this recommendation and it's kind of like withdrawn. So we've got a new recommendation which was suggested. And I wanted to know if we second on it.
No, I said it must be withdrawn.
See, that's the challenge that I have because I'm listening to different things here. We're talking about noted to be considered in the next budget. But now the seconder said it must be withdrawn. So this is what I'm asking you.
Resolved.
We resolved now. So we had a proposal. I'm asking if there's a seconder on the.
Can you please second, Councillor Ophir? Can you please second? Yeah, Councillor Ophir seconded on the resolved one.
And there'll be no second.
Yeah, on the amended recommendations.
No, it's a bit, I didn't hear you.
Councillor, we didn't open for a debate.
We have checks. Because we were my spokesperson. I don't have a.
Proceed, administration. Next item.
Section 5, engineering services, C/5/173/11/24, progress report on TID roll page 171.
Speaker, on a point of order. 44. On a point of order. It's too hot in here. Please fix these air cons.
It's COVID, open all the windows.
She's a team.
Item 7, Councillor Ophir.
Recommendation. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Swartz.
Thank you. Before I second it, I'd like to just know this report's dated 11th November, so it was before the changeover. And in the report, we were anticipating we have about 800 meters that weren't converted. What impact have we had since the 24th? Have we found that there have been many people that were sort of left behind that we need to catch up on? I'd just like some feedback on that, where we are, because we're almost a month after the actual fact.
Director?
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, so this report is done a month old. A month ago, we were just under 800 shy of meters that we could not get onto our system. The 24th came with lots of millennium, and everyone thought the end of the world was here. But on the 25th, 26th, so up until this day, there's been no issue. So we've got nothing from customer care, nothing on collaborator. And my favourite councillor told me after hours haven't been throwing me on that subject. So you seem to be all right.
Thank you, Speaker. It's good to know, and well done then to the electrical team for getting this rollover done quite professionally and in time for the 24th. I'll second the.
Thank you. Next item.
C/5/177/11/24, assessment of the quality and overall acceptability of works performed under the contract SCM 2023/57/ENG, upgrading of stormwater phase 1, page 173.
Item 7. Councillor Olivia?
I support the recommendation by the executive.
Thank you. Councillor Swart?
Second.
Thank you. Next item.
C/5/178/11/24, 2023/2024 Annual Water Services Development Plan between brackets WSDP, Performance and Water Services Audit Report, page 177.
Item 7. Councillor Swart?
Thank you, Speaker. On to water again. As I said before, the problems always, we're noting reports and reports must be adopted. But if we look at previous year's reports, much is the same. So I've just noted some concerns that I had when going through this. On page 181, it says that the water development plan, financial asset management, we've got high vulnerability with regards to that. So that's something that we do note and take concern about. Also says that the budget for replacement and maintenance needs to be increased, because it's currently only at 2% of asset value. We should be running at around 8% of asset value. Water losses, it says either 28%, but in another report there's discrepancies, but still even at 28%, our water losses are high and it's costing us money. There are also comments that we're at 80% and it's a good score, but we need to be cautious because previously we've been in the 90%, and while 80% is a good score, it's actually at the bottom range of good scores. So yes, it's fine, but we're probably 1% away from not being a good score. We need to bear that in mind going forward and ensuring that we keep up the correct quality and providing the service. It also says that the financial management KPI was indicated as extremely vulnerable in the 2024 assessment. So that's also something we need to be aware of. But what's more important is on page 204, take into account the current development that's happening. And we've already had calls that we need to be cautious about development. The last thing I'd like to see is for development to be slowed down or stopped because of any issues, because we need that for job creation as well and for money into our economy. But on page 204, it says that the current available yield for Plettenberg Bay system is inadequate to meet future water requirements, and the augmentation of the existing water resources is therefore critical. And that's something we've been talking about for a while in terms of if the Kerbooms river flow should stop for some reason or we can't source water from there, what do we do? We've only got the desalination plant at the moment that will give us 2 megs of our 12 meg daily supply, and the Roodefontein Dam is not going to last long. So we can have the best water around, but if we don't have water, that becomes an issue, and that's what we need to really put our minds around. And also one of the comments which I believe is hopefully addressed for season in terms of short term is on page 279. It says that there are no recent sludge management plans were in place. And we know we've got the problem at the Transferlay plant with regards to the buildup of sludge. Water losses increased at all 3 of our plants. So we're supposed to be focusing on water losses. For some reason, we're going in the wrong direction. And one of the items that was identified in December last year when I visited one of our areas, and that was brought up in a motion in March, is water meter installations that need to be done on our municipal pipes to control our water supply. And they estimate 3.8 million needs to be spent to install 1,304 meters. I know the water manager said they've done some of them, and that we get a report, but we're not getting that report, and we don't know if anything's been done to reduce those water losses. So I just wanted to highlight that. Yes, we can adopt the reports and be aware of it, but we can't have the same type of report coming every year, and we're not showing progress to reduce to actually addressing the problems that are raised. So I will support that the report be adopted, but we need to particularly note what is in the report and address what is in the report. Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker. Thanks, Speaker. I really concur with Councillor Swab. And moreover, I think we must, as a municipality, really have a plan in terms of adopting boreholes. We are lucky now that we are still a municipality that is having water, but we are not going to have water in 10, 15 years. And it's being stated climatic conditions are not favorable to us. The municipality that is our neighbor is struggling in terms of water. And really we must plan in terms of putting budgets, in looking at the real, what is the source that can assist where we get water now. Yes, we preempted years ago. We've got a desalination plant, but that desalination plant is very expensive. So we must have another of getting water, like boreholes. Seriously, otherwise we are going to have a problem. And also the water losses, we must be told exactly where are these water losses. Each and every time we're told that there are water losses of such percentages, and yet we are not capping that problem. Because really, water is very important. In other areas, Gauteng, go up there, listen TV, watch TV. It's a revolution. People are fighting, but they don't get water. So we must be ahead at all times. That is the money that we must use to preserve water and find where we can get water. Boreholes are a key factor for us that can augment our water supply. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Executive Mayor?
I second the proposals.
Thank you. Moving to the next item.
C/5/179/11/24 Capital Projects Implementation Plan between brackets CPIP Monthly Progress Report for period ending October 2024, page 14.
Item 7. Councillor Swarts.
Thank you, Speaker. We're in the projects again, looking at MIG funding again, looking at a 4% spend, but it's a November report. I was given assurance in the portfolio meeting that our spend will at least be at 40% on the MIG funding by December. It needs to be. So I'm just hoping that that will come to be. So I will just propose then that we take cognizance of the report for the period end of October, and hopefully the end of December report is going to look much better. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. For the youngest councillor in this council, I think I'm about getting bored of this exercise. Literally every year we sit around the sides and we talk around the spending, and nothing ever actually gets to happen after that's it. I urge the MMU Speaker that there be consequence management, and that going into a new financial year, each person's performance management rubric must have spending attached to it, because I think now the officials are actually relaxed where spending is concerned, because be it we lose grants or not, they're not affected.
Councillor MM.
Speaker, all that I can say, Councillor Smith, I've requested this morning that we must have an urgent meeting tomorrow. I hope that you can honor that, because I received a very disturbing call from Water Affairs. I think let me rather address this matter with you as the chairperson of the portfolio and the director, and then it will answer the question that Councillor Abba is also raising.
Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Speaker. Yeah, I think we've all exhausted this topic. We would like to see progress in this regard. We note the report. I don't know if someone is second. If there's a second, I.
The second.
Okay, so let's.
Second.
Proposed by Councillor Mangaba.
No, proposed by
Councillor Swarts.
Second.
Seconded by the Executive Mayor. Moving to the next item.
Item C/5/180/11/24. Roads, Transport and Stormwater Capital Project Implementation Plan report for period ending October 2024, page 4 to 9.
Item 7. Executive Mayor.
Oh, I was looking in another direction. But Speaker, we obviously note this report. This is also tied up with the other drama that we had previous contractor. But if you look at the summary on page 430, you will note that the Bitou project is in progress. The New Horizon project in progress. I think that one is probably more advanced than the other ones. And then the Kwanakatula project behind. And you will look at the completion of the upgrading of Curlin phase 1. Now the remedial works. We'll say it's not started. And I can go on and on and on. So it will be imperative with that report that we said they're going to submit to us the time frames regarding the remedial works and the other projects that are behind in the next portfolio meeting. It's the only thing I can say on this item, but I will want councillors to take note, especially on the page 430. And then note the report. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm going to ask one last time to HODs to work with us where these reports are concerned. We can't be sitting with a report on a project and all we see is monies and progress 3.14%. We want to see pictures as well. We want to see exactly where we were when we started and how far are we with the project. Because 95% or 3.14% means nothing to us as councillors. I saw that there was a bit of an improvement on a previous report where we could see the curbs and pipes and. We would want to see that when we actually speak of reports.
So, Speaker,
Very much, Councillor.
this taking off notes of items, whereas the report is saying Konoktula is behind.
There's no work done there.
So we must just take note. I know it's how items are written. The recommendations, if there's nothing that is specific, we take note. Whereas the report is saying there's who are behind. And yet the communities are suffering. I'm repeating again, I've said it before. How much are these directors earning? 2 million. Let me say 2 million. And yet we've got items that take notes, whereas there is no progress. And yet our people are struggling there. To them, 2 million is a dream. They will go down the grave not having that money. They are struggling, working at ShopRite, Checkers. And that means if these projects are not done, they are living in squalor. Well, it's our nature as councillors. We must come here and talk a lot. They know us anyway, that we're going to come here and vent and vent. After that, they go to their cars. I think at the back of their mind, they're saying, stupids. You see? People come to us as councillors. And when they they don't toy to these people because they are living in town. It's us who are living in those areas there. It's us who are at risk, especially ward councillors. Because those people have been voted by those people because they had trust in those councillors that they are going to deliver in their service issues. And there is money. What we will get in these items are rollovers. There's a rollover. It's something that is done. It's legislation. It's legislatively correct to roll over. Because my understanding, if you've got a rollover, there must be a very serious thing that made you not to utilize the fund. So, yeah, we are here. It's going to be December now. Work is not done in Konoktula. People are going to go to Christmas at the beach happy, whereas our people are living in squalor. It's even worse now. It's summer, it's very hot in Konoktula. So, yeah, we will always come here and vent. That's our nature. That's what they are saying. But when it comes to them, that they must get their money, they fight. They write these items anyway to get their bonuses. You see? Yeah.
Councillor Mhlana?
Yeah, Speaker, just off the topic, I just recently saw that there were advertisements on stormwater drain cleaning, etc. Understanding processes and directors complaining about SCM, the drains won't be cleaned this year. The process of awarding those tenders, it's not going to happen this year. What do we do this year? Because I stay in an informal settlement where these drains are used for other purposes. And if they are not clean, they become serious centers. Those councillors who have informal settlements where they stay, they understand what I'm raising. Now, I don't even want to complain about officials anymore. And I've taken a decision not to attend any strategic session because why must we go there if we are unable to deliver a simple service to the people? How are we going to deliver strategic issues? Because I believe strategic issues must be bigger than cleaning a stormwater drain or giving electricity to people, which is our
core function.
So what are we going to do? Because I have requested the department and people were sent. That was 3 weeks ago. Nothing has happened. So I just want to find out, Speaker, what is going to happen now since the tender, the 3-year tender that was advertised is not going to be awarded this year. We sit with the stench that we are getting those drains.
Amen.
Thanks, Speaker. I think firstly to you, the first part on my side is the appreciation. The appreciation of councillors raising these matters, but it's not just to note the report because what is being said, for example, in the previous item by Councillor Sarek and Councillor Kabaya Craig, I make notes of the matters and those matters are discussed at the directors meeting. We do discuss in the directors meeting, but equally as well, then evaluate directors on a quarterly basis. Produce something of the quarterly basis of completely topped, but they are evaluated again on a quarterly basis. And I appeal to council that I meet with councillor on this with the director engineering. As already mentioned, tomorrow, I will report back to council. There is an item, in fact, that must come in January to council in terms of the performance of all directors, which we have done an evaluation for the 2023-2024 financial year. So that report is concluded. That report is going to come to council, say, you were given this KPI to do this and this and this. This is what we have not done. This is what we have done. Reflection and the procedure in terms of the act is that each director is given an opportunity to actually write in writing and object if he's not happy with that and state the reason. And they are put in front of council. A committee looks at that and then responses are provided. But in all honesty, it should not be only an issue of concern to councillors. It should be an issue of concern to everyone working in this municipality. That we are lacking in terms of service delivery. And statement by Councillor was actually more accurately defining the problem that we are in. How do you expect to deliver on bigger things if you cannot deal with the basic service delivery matters? So I'm having a meeting with Councillor Olivier. I've been given a number of reasons, which I want to start documenting now. She has informed me that she has been given also a number of reasons, which we then want to tighten the process by documenting these reasons that are actually given. I'll come back to you on the issue of electricity. I saw the emails. I might be wrong in terms of that, because we've got a service provider that is appointed for a 3-year contract. So if the answer is lazy, this one and this one, the 4 that have resigned, is the reason that we cannot do the work, I need to establish then what is the contract that you're having with service provider. It does not make provision for that, because then it should actually try and assist as a issue of. So I'll come back to you on that matter once I've spoken to the director. I didn't have a chance to speak to the director in terms of addressing that matter. So send me information. That's why I said I will respond.
Thank you, Councillor Tablanche.
Because just to cover the also there, you must just make sure that he correct his words, because he was one moment talking about performance bonus. Next moment he say isn't given. So it sounds like he's not gonna give performance bonus. All that whole thing there. I lost him there. So just separate those two for me. Because one moment you're talking about it, and next you say you have been given reasons, you have been given reasons. So just try and separate the two there.
Now, Speaker, I didn't think I said the performance evaluation. Performance evaluations are done. So that report of the performance evaluation must still come to council. I spoke with Bonassi, so but that still must come to council for me to be done. It's coming in January to council.
Thank you, The item is 7, councillors. Councillor Annalise.
I second.
Proposed by Councillor Annalise and seconded by Executive Mayor. Proposed and seconded. Okay, thank you. Moving to the next item.
C/5/181/11/24. Status quo report, Pier Woods River Transfer Scheme, Father of Channel Dam Bridge 433.
Item is 7. Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. In the light of our earlier discussion around water, I think it's important, especially note number 2, that we prioritize this. So I'd like to propose that we go through its recommendations.
Seconded, Speaker.
Thank you.
Speaker, may I just ask a question? Yeah, please. Through you, Speaker, if I may ask Director Felton. This water dam has been coming a very long time. It's been going for quite a period of time, and there have been various investigations. And the last investigation I saw before this report, there were geotech investigations which found the ground to be unstable and not ideal for the erection of a dam wall in that particular spot. I don't know whether Director Felton is aware of this, but it does play a role, and it's an important issue.
Director.
Yes, so what's actually happened in the Masbega Farm Water Sanitation came to us and said, listen, we're really interested in getting that water there. And they said they're going to fund the further investigations. The concerns that you have raised, they're going to now mitigate it and come up with a good reason why the dam should be built. In fact, if you look at the cost per megaliter, the dam is the best option for this municipality going forward. It could supply the municipality with water for the next 10 to 15 years. So that's why this report is actually separated from the regional. My understanding is that the Department of Water and Sanitation come along. It's been said in the corridors that if they're willing to sponsor or pay for an investigation, that becomes a whole new different issue to them. They don't want that to be fruitless and wasteful expenditure. So I think they're coming up with a plan for the dam and paid for it. It's actually a very positive. I think Lorton is going in the right direction.
You, Speaker, thank you for that enlightenment, Mr. Cobb, because it is such an important thing. And that's why I'm asking this question. I think like, but there was a definite geotech report which found that that ground was unstable and was not sufficient for the erection of a dam wall. That's the concern I'm raising.
Speaker, the concerns of my colleague here are actually covered appropriately on the report. There's a geotech investigation findings in page 489. He can familiarize himself with that so long. I have seconded the item already.
Thank you. Do you want to say something?
No, I think let's note this report and note everything that has been said. I've just got a concern. The Department of Water Affairs is not careful. Maybe perhaps I should share this information. But they've written to the department to engineering department. Testing my email address again, CFO. They have a meeting with myself. That's what they are saying. In their call, then the mayor this morning to say perhaps she must be, or councillor or she must be part of that meeting. Because the matter, I think, is going to be escalated to the minister. In their communication with me, they even state that the performance of this grant funding in this municipality, they even quote that at the time of homeland motion, at the time of phase. So there's very serious concern there in the matter to the minister performance, to the extent that they are considering that we must not be the implementing agency, that they appointed implementing agency. So it's very worrisome. But let me deal with this matter with Councillor Olifield, then we can ask them about the issue of the dam and everything and give a proper report. Because I don't want to be caught anymore in Germany to say this is what the administration said to us. And this thing hits, and then there's a letter of the minister that comes to us, So that's why I had that urgent meeting with the two councillors this morning, the mayor and then Councillor Oliver. It was something that needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency.
Thank you. Moving to the next item.
Item C, stroke 5, stroke 182, stroke 12, stroke 24, updated water service development plan for the period 2022 to 2027, page 4.
Item is 7. Councillor Swart.
Thank you, Speaker. It seems to be the day for water. This at least ties in with the previous two items. I just want to point out as well what it says here in terms of water service development plan. They're saying that on page 516 that augmentation is the biggest risk. And that's what we've been discussing. The supply of water, we all know we've got water. It's a supply. Provision of bulk water and sanitation for future use. Upgrading of old infrastructure to ensure sustainability of the existing structure. And that's also something that we've spoken about in terms of old pipes and that, and ensuring that our networks are fine. They also mentioned 10 risks on page 516, which are important as well. And I'm just going to mention a few of them. Climate change. Councillors are really complaining it's hot. We've been told how hot it is in the areas and the effect that us not looking after our infrastructure can have on the communities. Loss of grant funding, that's also a risk. Water scarcity, too low revenue collection rate to ensure financial viability and sustainability. So these are items, 4 items mentioned that we're talking about a lot, but we don't always seem to get much done, as Councillor Manyaba said earlier as well. So we need to take note of that as well. What we need to consider and I don't see it mentioned in the plan, is with new developments to compel people to put in water tanks, to start harvesting rainwater and using the water that they've harvested. That can be done safely, it can be done easily, but we're not making use of that because the more people use water that they've collected from rain harvesting, the less impact it has on our water supply as well. And I don't see that in this water sustainability report. And I've made a note here again, water losses must be seriously addressed. We don't seem to be serious about it. So I'll go with the recommendation that we do adopt the plan, but we seriously need to work the plan. It's no use adopting the plan if we don't work it.
Mr. Analyst.
Second that. We adopt the plan.
Next item.
Into section 6, planning and development, C/6/163/11/24, proposed amendment of restructuring zones, Bitou, page 635.
Item 7. Councillor Wampin.
Speaker, I propose that we go with the recommendation and that we adopt the act.
PM.
Second.
Next item.
C/6/165/11/22, report on establishing an economic development agency, Bitou municipality, page 657.
Item is 7. Councillor Mangaba.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this ties in or goes back to our interaction at the revised organogram workshop that we had. This is just a question again of capacity versus capability. If you read through the item and you understand what the Economic Development Agency will be focusing or will be doing, those 3 points that I actually mentioned, those are the exact same expectations we have of the Economic Development Office that we have. Now, are we as the municipality gonna duplicate and further fund an agency based on the fact that we do not want to hold our own staff accountable? Yes, if you do research, the researchers in bigger cities and the metros, there is existence of agencies. They exist as a result of a high volume of foot traffic coming into the local economic development office. Hence, they will have an agent on the side to actually assist in alleviating that pressure while servicing communities. Have we as the municipality done an assessment in these offices to find that really, from reports we are getting from them, umthamo womsebenzi is actually too much for them to actually bear? Have we placed it in their performance indicators as well as their performance management that this is what we expect of you? And have you done this much? What assistance do you require from our end for your work to actually be done? I can tell you now, Speaker, I understand that the item calls for a feasibility study or calls for a best practice study. That study, I can put it to you now for free. It's a wasteful one if we are not really holding our staff accountable and ensuring that they are paid for what they're expected to do and that which they're expected to do is done. I am totally against this item because there is no economic elements to leverage up until that office is set right to actually do what they're expected to do. Okay, we could actually establish this. Because if we establish an agency, we must fund it. I do not think as a municipality we're actually at a standard where we are able to fund such, and especially given how small this town is. If that office could be maximized in terms of their capacity and capability, we'd not be sitting with looking to actually have an agency. Now, with that being said, I am Totally against this item and its recommendation.
Yeah, Speaker, if I also go into the comments of the acting director of financial service. From that comment, it also looks like as if the CFO is not in favor, whether it's acting, he's not in favor of this. So therefore, I would recommend against this recommendations before us. Again, here, it's either the item be referred back, but my stance is clear that I'm against the recommendations of this item that's in front of us.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm not gonna say a lot, but I'm happy that the AFC still lives on. No, when we speak about the coming together project, I get proud because it was an ANC vision and speaking about this agency, it was an ANC vision. So I'm happy when these things keep on coming up. Keep on. It means the ANC still exists amongst us.
Executive Mayor.
Speaker, there's two recommendations in front of us. One is for us to note the report. The second one is for council to mandate administration to conduct a feasibility study for the establishment of this economic development agency, including compliance with legislation and regulations, and to submit a report back to council after completion. I propose that we accept those recommendations. Thank you.
DM.
I second the recommendations.
Torch must go higher.
Next item.
There's two proposals on the table.
Counter action.
Can we please go with the recommendation of the executive mayor to vote for the item? Administration, are you counting us? Those who are against? Can we please have the total number of the votes?
Against.
Can
Let's see.
Can we have the total number of the votes? Who vote?
Is council supporting?
Councillor Sethi?
Against.
She's not.
She isn't there anymore.
Saying that she's suffering with it.
Oh yeah, she's there. Oh, yeah, she's there now.
Or she's there now.
Councillor Sethi?
Against.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thanks, DM.
We're just voting now for the item.
She must take it even from me.
Are you supporting the item or are you against it, Councillor Sethi?
Which item?
He didn't
Speaker,
support
which
it.
item? Which item? Because I was not in
Put it
for
out
a long
now.
time. I ran out of
report.
data.
A report on establishing an economic development agency for Bitou municipality. It is on page 657. The majority of the councillors voted.
Your caucus was against it. Well, she was not.
Thank you, Chief. If my caucus was against it, then there's no point for me to vote. I'm voting against.
Councillor Sethi?
Speaker. For the recommendation 7 and against the recommendation 6.
Yes, he simplified.
Recommendation carries through.
Item is closed. Can we please move to the next item, and which is the last item on section on planning and development?
C/6/166/24, agricultural land, economic development permit, page 665.
Read. Item 7, Executive Deputy Mayor.
I go with the recommendation.
Second, Councillor Olivier.
Speaker, don't look this side. Time.
I second that, Speaker.
Can you zoom in the recommendation?
Assessments to be done on the portions.
Speaker, this item was in our portfolio committee, and I raised issues there. The first issue that I raised is that got land that has been donated by Department of Agriculture in Kellen, where that earth was divided into two portions. The people of Kellen are going to get houses in a part of that portion of that land. And the other side is for agricultural purposes. That those people, because of there's no employment, they must be able to till the land. And what you understand, Speaker, is that our people have started to do uvukuzenzele. That means doing it on their own. They are small scale farmers. They've got sheep, goats, pigs that they are living on for their survival. And my question was, because we've got a title deed of that land, why move from that one? Whereas it has not been, officials have never touched them. They've never done anything, but we are running to other portions of land for agricultural purposes. You see? No. No. I'm going to disturb her when she speaks. No point. I'm going to disturb.
Carry on,
Because I was raising this in the portfolio committee meeting. Now, the answer that arrived in that meeting about that piece of land is that portion that was given to be utilized for agricultural purposes, the municipality, it was said as if it belongs to NARISEC. You know, NARISEC, it's a program of young people. I didn't have a problem about that, but the land has been given to us as a municipality. Where we want to develop our people, as a municipality, will then conduct NARISEC. But our people want to get the land so that they can be able to source funds so as to live, because those people cannot go out there. It's either private sector or government, that is agriculture, and source funding, because they don't have evidence that this is a paper that we have been given this land, whether it's land that is not given to them fully, but they are utilizing it officially. There's nothing that has been done. So that is what I argued there. The recommendations by the executive mayor that the council approved the assessment to be done to the following portions of land. And that one was not addressed. Now we are running to other portions of land, whereas that one is not addressed. That's the problem that I'm having.
Mr. Maggie? Mr. Maggie, I'm giving to you.
Thanks, Speaker. Speaker, the answer is correct that I looked at in the portfolio currently and that will make follow-ups. The portion of the land, and I stand to be corrected, the portion of the land is subdivided into 3 portions. Now, the first portion is about 1.7 square meters, which has been allocated to 1,770 square meters, which has been allocated to Mr. Jacobs and his family to use that land. And the second portion, which is the portion that has been donated to Bitou municipality, is the portion which is earmarked for housing, say 74.8 hectares. And the remainder of that land, which is 10.98 hectares, is the one that has been earmarked to be used by NARISEC. So the title deed that we received it for the portion that is earmarked for human settlements, not for all those portions. We have written to agriculture. We are still awaiting their response on the portion that is earmarked for NARISEC project, which they have said that it can be potentially used for vegetables or possibly honey project. So we are waiting from them to either tell us, is it us that are supposed to be entering into an agreement on how the land is supposed to be used, or is it the Department of Agriculture? Because the department has said that NARISEC is the one that is supposed to be looking after that portion of land. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Executive Mayor?
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, concerns very close to us. However, we are aware that this challenge they currently experiencing, the other wards are experiencing. When we sit with challenge of small scale farmers not having land. And I think as a council, we are making an effort with this holistically. Yes, that Mr. Mark is quite correct. There were 3 portions subdivided for 3 different purposes. However, we did receive the title deed and the mandate for the portion that's related to human settlements. We therefore need to engage with the department regarding the other options for the other portions of land, and also there was an engagement to also identify a piece of land that belongs to the district municipality, and the officials are also in liaising with the district to see if we can also maybe get from them a lease agreement so that we can accommodate the people of Curran. But now, like Easter, unfortunately, the 10 hectares has been identified separately for a separate purpose. We need to engage with the department regarding that. It is not included in this resolution. I also did not see from the portfolio extra recommendation for us to include it in these recommendations in front of us. So if the portfolio discussed it, it has not been formalized into a separate recommendation for us at MACO to consider. I propose that we go with these recommendations and then, of course, taking note of the information we received from Mr. Maraki.
Speaker, I want to place this on record that these pieces of land, they are not taking away or they are being overemphasized more than the other one that is there at the Finland. All people in different wards, they need a food security kind of a project. We are dealing with this one that we are not given to the communities as we are doing, or being given the allowance that can be used for this, just like Transhoek and other places. But it concerns that Councillor Kapa will always bring this as if this is superseding them. We are not having a case of competing with the idea versus to other. We are here to say, if the land is there to access it for food security, let us do it holistically for the greater Bitou, not competing who initiated what, so it's supposed to be done this. We are not taking away a piece of land that was given for Narsec people in that area. It is good, it's going to be continued, and the access and the information has been transferring right. But in this item, we're dealing with these pieces of land. It was unfair or uncalled of him to bring the item of equivalent, whereas that item has already been dealt with, deliberated with the minister then, and we knew about it. It was only about to tap into knowing when can those communities make use of it. But these ones are not taking away or shadowing any item, of which that's what I'm saying, that it is uncalled for to bring it like that, as if we're unshadowing any piece of land.
Can you give me?
Bye-bye.
Speaker, when I raised the issue, you can't jump. You have been afforded this one. Now you jump to others, whereas you have done nothing about it. It's where the answer or the clarity came up that this portion that we are talking about, that is 10.9 hectares, it's Narsec that is involved. And Narsec will never come to the municipality. It's the municipality that must go to Narsec and say, this is the data that I'm having for these people. They are small scale farmers, and yet nothing that was done. And then you jump to other projects. That was what I was talking about, you see. Now, when I'm talking about this, it's as if I'm doing something wrong. Whereas those people, ever since ministers went there and said, we have given you the land. What is the municipality doing about it? I don't think those people know this information about Narsec. Because Narsec also alleviate the municipality in terms of program. Because programs will be done by Narsec in assisting those people. But those people are not taken care of by this municipality. I think they must have a program about that portion.
Executive Mayor. Speaker, I take note of what Councillor I have said previously. I would request that we get a report from the officials regarding that portion of land. I have spoken to the officials regarding the other options as well. I want to make it clear that we must not sit here and talk as if it is only the community of Kirtland that suffered this fate. I have suffered many political intimidation in my ward because of other councillors coming with issues and talking in this council and going to their community and give them messages contradicting to what we decide here. So I'm not going to sit here, a speaker, and listen to this and like I don't see what is happening here. Please, if a report is needed for that, separate it, I'm in support of it. But as I say, it was your responsibility in the portfolio meeting to make it clear regarding your recommendations, because it was a discussion. There's no recommendations that has been included in your portfolio meeting. So please, Speaker.
Point the speaker.
Any extra recommendation?
I've heard you, Councillor Kapai.
Want to make an extra recommendation?
Speaker.
More than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillors. The item was proposed and
if I respond in such way or in that manner.
Councillor Kapai, I've not given you now. I've closed the item. It was closed and proposed. We've finished now with
all pieces of land will be given.
Before interest.
Moving now back to the agenda. Councillors, please. We are moving now to the agenda. We are in item number 11. Matters submitted by the municipal manager.
Department of Water.
Item number 12, consideration of notices of motions. Notice of motion in the terms of rules 36 of the bylaw relating to the conduct of meetings of council dated December 2024. Moved by Councillor Terblanche and seconded by Councillor Mtlana. Item 13, consideration of notice of questions. Notice of questions in terms of Rule 37 by the bylaw relating to the conduct of meetings of councils dated December 2024, moved by Councillor C.N.J. Terblanche, seconded by Councillor Tim Plana, to be dealt with at a special council in committee meeting of even date. Councillors, both items I am moving it to the in committee. Reasons are the items were dealt with in the in committee meeting, both of them from the beginning. So it is therefore that reason that also today these two motions are being dealt with in the in committee.
Speaker, can you lay it before the members in council, please?
Councillors, here is the items of motions 12 and 12.6. We are moving it now to the in committee. Can I please have people who are supporting that we move these motions to the in committee?
Before you vote, can I just highlight that is in terms of 21, 1B, where the majority of members present to support such exclusion directs the members to leave.
Yes.
So that basis.
We are here before.
All right. Councillors, can we now go to vote? Those who support that we take now the items to the in committee. And administration, can you please count us?
Speaker, we cannot go in this fashion. Are you agreeing to move items in committee?
What are you secretly hiding?
Thank you. Can we now have those against?
Hey guys, we're hiding from the public things here. On the normal order.
Councillor Terblanche, we are voting now. We are not speaking.
Speaker, I vote that this item remain on the order of business under point 12.
Use two arms or what?
Councillor Sethi, are you still online?
She's voting with us.
Yes,
Speaker, yes, I'm still online, yes.
We are on the motions now, and we have the majority have just voted that to be moved to the in committee.
And your
caucus is voting against it.
I'm also voting against this matter. This matter should be in the order of business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Administration, can you please give us the total number of the votes?
Votes for the item in committee is 7. Those voted that it stays on open is 6. Therefore, it moved to the in committee, the two items under 2.
Thank you very much. Both motions are being moved now to the in committee. We are in item number 14. That is consideration of motions of exigency. We have received none. We are in item number 15, which is the in committee methods. Can we please now excuse the public and the all people that are on visual be switched off and allow the officials to move and the public to move so that we can deal now with the in committee. I give 3 minutes break so that we. Yeah.
You want to sit? Benoni.